clown jumps off the ladder. A shallow pool, but it doesn't matter. The way it goes, the way it goes. Just running through barriers and hedgerows. Hollow man, hollow hand puppet. Where's the applause when you need it? Hey everybody, it's Warren. I'm back with another tutorial, and it's the mother Lode this time. I'm going to show you this song and why it's so awesome in a few parts. I'm going to do this piano thing right here and show you the chords that are used in the song. But I think more kind of like ambitiously, I'm going to show you what's going on in the digital audio workstation world. My limited understanding of the music software I use, Ableton Live, I've reconstructed the song in my cover, hopefully, you know, to a accurate and faithful degree. And so I'll show you that later. But the first thing I wanted to do was let you guys know this one was a pain in the butt. It took me probably over 50 man hours to do this thing. So if you appreciate the stuff that I do, consider leaving me a tip, or, you know, signing up for my mailing list, or, you know, shooting me a message and just encouraging me to, you know, keep going on with what I'm doing. But yeah, without any further ado, here it is. I'm going to start with the first chord. My trusty professional cameraman is going to catch the chord voicings over here. So the very first chord in the song is going to be a D major, D, A, F sharp, just those three notes. And then they're going to go to E major, E, B, and G sharp. So I've got this two note fifth voicing in the left hand, so that's your fifth there, and the third is there, root, fifth, third, root, fifth, third. In the jazz world, these are called open voicings. Da, da. If you notice, the song goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, yo. Okay, so all the chords come in super syncopated on the ands. Now you may not know that the first time you're listening to the song. My bet is that you don't, because the drums come in later and sort of reveal that the piano sample that's on a loop is syncopated. Only after the beat comes in do you really know that, okay? But you're gonna play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm sorry, it's gonna come in before 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2. And every section that I've broken down here is going to be in my transcription. You can see it and get every little different chord progression that goes throughout the whole song. It's all color coded, it's all organized, so check that out. Put a lot of time into that. And what you're going to get is, after you play 3 measures D, you get 1 measure of E and it repeats. You can see that in the first section that I've written in the song. And then the next part, you're going to get B minor 7, this chord right here. So you got B and F sharp in the left hand, D, F sharp, A. Okay, so that's your B minor, and the 7th is with your pinky there. Another clown jumps off the back to E chord. Not shallow pull, but it doesn't. Back to the E chord. The B minor 7, the B minor 7. Okay, and then you go, okay, this is when you get the line that's sung, hollow man, hollow hand puppet. Okay, so this chord is a B minor 7 add 11. Okay, sorry, there's your 11. So it's going to be B, F sharp, D, E, A, D, E, A in your right hand. Hollow man, hollow hand puppet. So that's your C sharp, G sharp, E, G sharp. That's just a C sharp minor chord. Where's the applause when you need it? And then back down to the D over there. And so there are only 2 more chords in the rest of the song, and I'll just intro them to you. This one right here is the F sharp minor 7. It's going to be F sharp, C sharp, and another F sharp up top, and then an A and an E in the right hand. Okay, that's going to be the part that, I mean, you'll see it in the transcription. It'll show up the F sharp minor 7 there in the transcription. And then there's one more chord for the B minor, and this only shows up in one part of the song. This is B minor add 9, so B, F sharp, C sharp, D, and it goes, you can't sing your way out of this one. It's really nice, kind of like a little contrast to the other B minor chords. You have your B minor 7, your B minor 7 add 11, and this one is sort of like just a little bit more dissonant, a little bit more of that kind of dramatic flair or texture with this 9th added. It's voiced also so that it's like clashing with the D. I'm trying to stay out of the sun here. It's not working. But yeah, so B minor add 9 is going to be, you can't sing your way out of this one. He makes a joke but nobody listens. Forgot my F sharp there. But anyway, those are the chords, and when you cycle through all of them and all the different kind of like iterations for the different sections, you'll basically see how complicated the song structure is for this one. It just, there's so many different sections where you might have 2 of the chords, or you might swap out this chord for that chord in another section that's very similar, or you might see this one chord being played for a little bit longer, you know. So there's certain sections where you're going to have, instead of 3 D chords and then 1 E chord, like in terms of 3 measures and 1 measure, you might see it 2 measures and 2 measures. The song is super complicated in that sense. It's almost like not supposed to be like super repetitive. There's like a stream of consciousness almost approach to the chord progression of the song. But that concludes this part where the piano kind of comes in, and we're going to take it on to the Ableton side of things now. All right, see you in part 2. Hey everybody, this is part 2. I forgot to mention I included guitar chords in the transcription, so if you will just open it up and go down to row 25, you can see my little chord legend there. Now I've got some Roman numerals there that represent, you know, chords in the key of F sharp minor. This is a little kind of system that I put together from different things I've studied in the past. One part of it being ethnomusicology, and then the other part of it being like some stuff that I've picked up from, you know, my own music theory studies, and also from you know, classical stuff. But anyway, I put it all together with some colors. Hopefully it makes sense. It should be pretty intuitive, I think. But so the first chord you're gonna see, which is the D over A, right there, 554 XXX. Okay, it's the closest approximation you get to the low D chord on the piano, and then you get E right there, 0 2 X1 0 0. I mean XX there. So that's your intro, and then you got B minor 7 X2423X, another clown. So what I do is I'm doing the half bar right here, where I press down 3 strings with 1 finger, starting on the 5th, 4th, 3rd, like that. Okay. jumps off the ladder. Okay, and then you leave the first string open for the B minor 7 add 4. Hollow man. So 4 is also 11, in case you were confused when I was mentioning it over there on the piano. B minor 7 add 11, B minor 7 add 4, they're the same thing. Hollow man, hollow hand puppet. So this chord is C sharp minor X 4 6 6 5 X or 4. Whatever you prefer there. You can leave the first string in or out. And then you got the F sharp minor 7, and that goes like this. And I really want to play it like in a really similar to the piano voicing. So this is a pinky I'm adding into your typical F sharp minor 7. So this is 2 4 4 2 5 2 2 5 X, I should say. I'm not really playing the first string. And then you got your B minor add 9. And so the way that I kind of play this one is your 7x06. Can't sing your way out of this one. Alright, you have that kind of like lower dissonant sound there. And that's pretty much it for the guitar part. But let's move on if you are itching to check out how this is broken down in Ableton. Okay, we'll come over here to my Ableton project. Okay, and so the first thing that I'll mention again is back to just refer to the earlier part of the tutorial here, is that there's a piano sample just basically working throughout the whole song, and it kind of provides like a harmonic texture throughout, even though it doesn't sound like someone's actually playing on the piano. The reason for that is the piano sample is cut up. It's cut up into 1 beat fragments, and it's triggered like this. Like that's a section of the piano, and then you hear this. You also hear my mom laughing in the other room. I don't know what's going on. She's having a grand old time. But have a good time, Mom. D, and then E. Okay, and that's your F sharp minor 7. She's having a really great time. I should stop this tutorial and see what's so funny. But anyway, B minor 7. Okay, there it is. And then you have a B minor 7 add 4. And then you have your B minor 7 add 9. You hear all those sounds there? C sharp minor. And I even have like a quieter version of the B minor 7, because there's this one part in the song where he goes, and then you get like the bass solo of the song. So you get the louder one and then the softer one. And you might notice in there that there's a little bit more than just the piano. And I credit this to like many repeated listens and like a lot of ear training. But I noticed that when you hear this chord, for instance, this E major has somebody singing ooh or you know, and then this one you hear someone sing on top of the piano sample. So if you listen really closely, those are all there. And so I try to make it as authentic as possible. And these are all samples I've recorded myself to try to reconstruct what it is that Thom Yorke's got going on in his studio version there, with Nigel Godrich kind of at the helm, probably making all sorts of crazy production decisions. But coming back, okay, let's see what else I've got going on there. I figured out that the synth bass in the song, okay, is based off a triangle, okay, triangle wave. So if you notice the sound, okay, there are a lot of different synthesizer sounds. There's square wave, sine wave, sawtooth, and this one is a triangle wave. And the only thing I really had to mess around with was how long each note kind of took to decay, and played around with that, and it's kind of like made it decay earlier or later, and I think this is about right. Yeah, and so if you were playing along with the bass on your own, you would actually do just mostly F sharp minor pentatonic stuff. that's pretty much how the song just kind of keeps starting with the F sharp note up high, and then it goes down to E, or maybe it goes down to A, or maybe it hits a C sharp or a B, and then maybe it goes down to the low F sharp. And really, those are the only notes that show up in the song, except for this like one super kind of brief moment in the song where it's like, I think, how does it go? It goes like this. Oh, you hear that? You know, that's a C there. So you have a brief flat 5 in there, so that makes it kind of bluesy. That's just the only time it shows up in the song. It's just super like, you know, tucked in there. No one would ever really notice unless, you know, somebody tried to, you know, do something crazy like reconstruct the song from scratch in Ableton. You know, I don't know who would do that. But anyway, moving on from that, the bass part is really great, but now we've got the drum part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we got all this stuff going now. Okay. So what I've got there is I've got the hi-hat, and the hi-hat pattern is just 2 hi-hat sounds there, and I'll kind of show you. Come on, there it is. So I just got like this regular hi-hat. I don't think it's the exact same sample they're using, but I kind of made it so that it's got this crazy this pattern here where this shows up, the hi-hat sample, the second hi-hat sample shows up on the E of 3. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Super fast 16th note thing. And I've got it grooved, which means that I've had it kind of commit to a sort of a shuffle, essentially. So it's not quite even. If you listen very closely, you drummers out there and people with experience with rhythm sections talking about shuffle and groove, you understand that this hi-hat sample doesn't come straight with 16th notes. It's actually slightly shuffled. It's more like a 60 shuffle for those of you who are a little familiar with the concept of shuffle. The Thom sample that comes in way later in the song, it sounds like this. It's tuned to F sharp, and believe it or not, every one of these cuts here is a different Thom sample, Thom pattern, because these Thom patterns, they don't repeat for too long before they change. And so here's a little preview. This one sounds different, you know, and this one sounds different. I'll show you in context kind of what that sounds like. I had to listen many times to get all those kind of just right. I don't know what possessed me, but I really wanted to try and do it. The snare drum is actually a combination of 2 sounds that I created. One is a rim shot, and one's just a basic snare. These are free samples you can probably find floating around online. But one cool thing I did with this sample is I started to transpose it while I was doing my thing live. And right around there is where I kept it for that normal snare drum sound for the rest of the song. So I triggered that little transpose thing, and I mapped it to like this knob on my little MIDI controller here, and yeah, just kind of fiddled with it live, you know. In the midst of triggering all my piano samples, I was also kind of messing with that a little bit. And you may have noticed on my piano sample, I also kind of made it so that I was able to do some volume control there. Just map that to my controller too. Next thing I'll show you is the kick drum. 1, 2, 3. You know, that's pretty simple. Or 1 and 2 if you're counting slower. 2, 3, 4. You know, so it's just a pretty basic kick drum throughout. And I put 2 kicks in there just because I really wanted to make it get some extra oomph. But these three kick samples here are tuned differently. If you listen close, they're tuned to these F sharp, E, B. And if you listen to the original, it really is tuned. Those three kick drums are tuned. And that's how crazy it is. There's just so much thought that went into this song production-wise. It just blows me away. I have just like massive respect for Nigel Godrich and Thom Yorke after kind of going into this and trying to get it done note for note. And as you keep going, there's a certain part where the overdrive will kick in, and you hear this sound, okay? Right here, it'll change from ooh, sounds super different there, right? And when my bang vocals come in, I'll stop that piano. And you can get the background vocals coming in. And then I'll bring this back in. So that kick drum sample does that. There's a lot of little edits I made. I'm not even going to bother you with the details of all the edits that I made to try and, you know, really get the thing going. But the very last thing I think I'm going to show you guys, just to give you a glimpse of how cool this thing is this little thing called grain delay, okay? Grain delay is an effect where it just delays grains of sound, and really that's the best way that I can describe it. I think what it does essentially is like it cuts up your sound into little pieces and delays those pieces, and it makes it sound kind of like it's like I'll just play it and show you. See, there's this, like, I feel like I'm in a dream. Whoa, pretty crazy sounding, right? So where did I get those sounds to actually cut up and, you know, feed through the grain delay? I didn't physically cut them up. I didn't cut anything up. What I did is I took the piano and I brought it into the grain delay effect. And the piano is just the original piano that I recorded, and then I pitched it up 12 half steps, and 12 half steps means an octave, okay? So it's just an octave higher, and what you're hearing is the same chord here as this. That's the same chord. But when you play them together, it's like even cooler. So hopefully this has been informative. As far as music production goes, you know, I'm still learning the ropes, but this has been a huge leap forward in my progression as somebody working with software to make music. Really, software it's another instrument, and it's just amazing what you can do with it because the possibilities are really limitless. But hopefully this was a cool first kind of look into the Ableton side of things. If you're not familiar with the software, I use this to make some of my own stuff. You can check out what I'm doing on SoundCloud.com/WarrenLane, and there are a lot of great Ableton teachers out there, and I think this is just a wonderful instrument, and this whole process has been pretty amazing. But yeah. Thank you for watching, and I hope to make many cool, cooler videos than this one. I guess it's just too brief, but you know, on Ableton. And so yeah, take it easy. Signing off. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, I made a backing track out of this cover, and what I did is I stripped the vocals out of it, so you can go ahead and sing along. You know, impress your friends. It's my gift to you, and totally free. But with that said, it did take a lot of time. I put many hours into it. So if you appreciate it, please consider leaving me a tip. I use PayPal. Just PayPal at Warren at WarrenLane.com or Coinbase.com/WarrenMusic. Coinbase. That's for you nerds who like to use Bitcoin. There's no fees with Bitcoin. It's pretty cool. Virtually none. But yeah, I teach on Skype. I teach over Google Hangouts. I'm doing group lessons, offering those, and doing a lot of awesome stuff with ear training, music theory. So for anybody who's interested in taking me on as a private teacher, I'm here. And so yeah, hopefully lots more good stuff to come down the pipeline here on my channel. So thank you again for all your support, and I'll see you again in another video. Bye.